Even though June has been a relatively quiet month for the Colorado Buffaloes, they just did another big thing in the last couple of days of adding another coach to this current star-studded staff, which once again tells me just how dedicated to success these Buffaloes are. And so Coach Prime and staff has added former NFL head coach Pat Shurmur to the staff. And the expectation is he's going to definitely be integral in some of the things that they're doing going forward. But before we jump into Pat Shurmur's career and what he's done, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you all for pulling up here to the YouTube channel. If you are new, go ahead and hit that like button as well as subscribe. We would love to have you to join this family. We talk a lot of college football here, focusing on OU football, Colorado football, mixing in a little Tennessee football and college football in general. So we would love to have you join us. And as we talk about it, hop in the comments. Let me know, what's your thoughts on Pat Shurmur joining this staff as an offensive analyst? Do you see the benefits, Buffalo fans? Do you feel like this is going to help you all long term? I would love to hear from you all. But before we jump into Coach Pat Shurmur's past and what he's done and bringing him in, Coach Prime. As you all know, he had surgery about a week or so ago for blood clots, and it looks like things are good. He's back tweeting, looks like he's back active, and so we will continue to pray for his health, that he maintains it, so that when the coming season goes, we can see him get out there and be Coach Prime and make the magic happen. And so we talked about that in another video. You can check that out with my guy Ty Hayes over on Around the Table Sports. And just wondering about the staff. And the one thing I've done this entire time is I've praised the hires that Coach Prime has done. I mean, bringing in Sean Lewis to run his offenses. He's got Mike Zimmer as a defensive analyst. I mean, he's brought in so many big name people to really help with molding this team at Colorado that Buffs fans, you all should be excited. But let's jump into Pat Shurmur and look at him. So as y'all know, Coach Shurmur, he's an alum from Michigan State, and he spent 24 years in the NFL in a multitude of positions. I mean, the last time that he was at the collegiate level, he was at Stanford as an offensive line coach in '98. Now, he's spent some stints with the Eagles, the Rams, the Cleveland Browns, and then went back to the Eagles, the Vikings, and then he got his head coaching debut with the New York Giants in 2018 and 2019. And then most recently, he spent some time with the Denver Broncos as an offensive coordinator. And so all this does is adds an additional layer of mind for this staff and for these players to really learn from. Because one thing is for sure is that when you have NFL coaches on your staff, you can leverage that not only on the recruiting trail and reminding kids, you come here, we've got guys that can find a way and help mold you to go to the NFL, but also with play calling and understanding what can be ran and what players are prepared to run certain routes and run certain offenses as they are growing in the collegiate ranks. And so all Coach Prime is doing right now is really setting himself up for success long term. I appreciate when you bring in great minds like that to where you're not, your ego isn't there where you think that you know everything. And bringing in analysts like this is some stuff that you would see definitely from Nick Saban. We've seen this from Coach Saban. He's brought in a ton of former head coaches and as analysts on his staff. And we joke about it as them going there to be rehabilitated. Basically, Nick Saban's school of rehabilitating head coaches. But for the most part, it's a lot of them coming in and reevaluating what they did as a coach and then going back out there into the ranks once they go back as a coordinator. And so he makes his coaches and the guys that he's worked with as on demand. And so in demand because of, working with him. And so with Coach Prime, it's more so bringing in coaches to help him to develop and be better. And so Coach Pat Shurmur is a great addition to the staff. Like I said, as an analyst, that means that he'll be there to help break things down and make sure that this team is flowing forward. And so as we look at this past June, let's talk about the recruiting class and some of these recent commitments that the Buffaloes have gotten since the beginning of June. As I mentioned, things have been quiet since Aaron Butler, the 4-star athlete, committed back in May 16th. It's been a little bit quiet, but Colorado's starting to build some momentum and get some big name players that are showing interest. And so you got like Brandon David Swan, the 4-star defensive lineman that committed. He's a top 300 player in the country, which is huge for Colorado because we haven't seen that caliber of player really go there in like the last 5 to 6 years. And so we're bringing him in as well as Omar White, who, of course, he committed back in December. But then you added Zycar Lewis, you know, a 3-star wideout, you know, he's coming in with the speed. And then they wrapped it up with Michael Welsh out of Georgia, the 3-star running back. June is starting to pick up that momentum. And so now that official visit season is really over, because June is really when players do the most of their visits. July is going to be a quiet period till the 24th. And then from there, you'll start seeing some players take some more weekend visits to new schools and stuff. And this is a great opportunity for Colorado to bring in some more of those 5-stars. I think one of the bigger players they're going after is Charles Lester III. And Charles is expected to commit end of July. And so Colorado plays their cards right. There's a good chance they can probably bring in another big name player. And the Venice, Florida cornerback has Colorado in mind. And it looks like Colorado's targeting those players looking at Florida State too. I mean, Coach Prime loves Florida. Being from there, he knows how to find the talent down there. And so I'm pretty excited about this one. The hire of Pat Shurmur to the staff is huge for Colorado to me, and I hope you Buff fans are excited about it. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. Hop in the comments. Let me know what's your thoughts on what they're doing in Colorado now. Buffs fans, are you still excited? You still enjoy what is going down? Do you see the big vision that's going on with Coach Prime? If you've made it this far, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe as well as the bell notification. We're dropping a bunch of college football content, and we're going to be really picking it up because August is right around the corner. We are, 50-something days away from kickoff of college football, and man, it is going to be a busy season. So I'm going to get some vacation time in soon, but there are some videos here you can watch that I have tailored for you Buffs fans, and we'll talk soon.